Some developments in the Sinan Huan recruitment. Reminder, Sinan Huan is a 7'1" Chinese center who I believe has been playing in America for a while now. But anyways, big time Big Ten recruitment here and elite shot blocker, like the best shot blocker in the 2026 class. Brad Underwood wants him. Matt Painter wants him. Chris Collins wants him. One of those three is not like the other, but we got to take it seriously. He was at Northwestern this weekend. Sinan Huan completed his third official visit of the three that he had said he was planning to take after Illinois, after Purdue, and now Northwestern. Photos came out of him with Chris Collins. He looks good in the Northwestern uniform. They've got a real shot in this recruitment by all accounts. But that's not the only update, because while he was at Northwestern, something else happened. A certain non-Big Ten school is trying to insert themselves here, and it's the Duke Blue Devils. Duke assistant coaches visited Sinan Huan this weekend, presumably as he was visiting Northwestern, or right before or right after. So, certainly a power move from the Duke Blue Devils. Not a surprise to see more schools get involved. However, what we had been told on this recruitment before now was that this was a relatively like under wraps recruitment. Like Sinan and whoever is on the Sinan Juan decision making side, whether that's family, agents, camp, whatever, was not exactly hunting more offers, right? Anyone would have wanted Sinan Juan. I think he's caliber of going anywhere. But it's not like he was very receptive to, hey, let's go see if Kentucky wants us and Carolina and Duke and everybody. So noteworthy development when we thought this was basically Purdue versus Illinois with an outside shot that Northwestern would steal him. Duke is suddenly like, let's go make a play for Sinan Juan. What do you make of this?
Yeah, I love the idea of Shire saying Sinan Juan went to go visit Chris Collins. I guess I'll just take him. Because clearly nobody else is going to do that. But Shire was like, we can't allow him to go to Northwestern. Like that's not good for the sport. I like Sinan Juan's game. He's very much so a developmental guy. Obviously, like he blocks shots at a high rate. He runs the floor. He hustles. He doesn't have a lot of polish to his game outside of that stuff, though. He's very clearly working on a lot of different things. Um, but I like his game. I like the idea of Shire needs somebody to stick around more than 1 year, right? Like he can't do one and dones forever. Like having a Sinan Juan on campus for 3 to 4 years, I think would allow him to really focus in on the other positions in the one and done aspect of things. And I think it could work really well in his favor. But most importantly, I like the idea that we're going to keep him away from Northwestern because I like Sinan Juan a lot.
I just want to say not positive that he's there for more than 1 year. I hear you that he is like developmental in nature. He shows flashes and then he kind of goes away from what I've seen in games, but the flashes are so brilliant. I think there's a world that this dude is like a lottery pick that overachieves after 1 year. When your baseline is the rim protection that Juan gives you, I don't even really care about how raw you are offensively. Like this dude's basically a prep level Rudy Gobert level rim protector. Like I think at the FIBA event this year, he averaged like 5 blocks a game. It was absurd. It was more than double the second leading shot blocker at the event. Like, there's nobody even in the same stratosphere as him as far as what he does protecting the rim. He would go to any of these schools and immediately be the best shot blocker on the team. And yeah, that includes Daniel Jacobson at Purdue, who projects as an elite shot blocker. Juan's better. Even though he's smaller, he's 7'1". Juan is just better. We haven't seen a rim protector prospect like him in a while. Now, offensively, you do have questions on like how polished is it, but he has some perimeter skill. He can put the ball on the floor. I just love him. So, look, I loved him when this was just Purdue versus Illinois. I would love him if he shocked everyone and chose Northwestern. Honestly, I think it'd be really cool. And that's not me recruiting against Purdue or Illinois, but I just would think it's so fascinating for Northwestern of all schools to have a kid like this and see what they do with him. I'd love to watch what happens. It'd be a much different situation, of course, but also like Chris Collins has done a good job at Northwestern, man. He's won tournament games, and it's not just Boo Boo, even though we love Boo Booey, but like he's developed guys that have been worthy of NBA attention. Brooks Barnheiser's on a team now. Nick Martinelli's going to be an all-conference player this year. to think that they have a guy like Juan potentially mixed in with some of these other developmental pieces, like a KJ Wyndham who's young, I'd be really intrigued by what happens at Northwestern. And I will just say, we do the eye test thing sometimes, literally just look at visit pictures. Does he look like he belongs in that uniform? I could see him in a Northwestern uniform. I just could. I could see that dude going there and being their star right away. And that might not happen at Purdue or Illinois, even if he chose to go there. And maybe it was better for his NBA future. The Duke thing's interesting because I assume you're aware of this, but the Chris Collins and Duke thing goes double because Chris Collins was a former Duke assistant that was rumored to get the job when Shire got the job. Dion, how's your job going?
Beginning of the school year, everything's like a little up and down. One of the biggest issues we've had is we can't find any uniforms for our girls' sports teams.
Mm. That's a difficult thing to find a solution for. I know damn well all about that because I got a daughter that just turned 2. She's into sports and she's already outgrowing every little piece of sports apparel she had. Thankfully, I know Clara Kate Creations. Clara Kate Creations was started by a former high school teacher who quit because it wasn't cost effective to send new twins and a 2-year-old to daycare. She found it easier to make girls' sports apparel than finding it to buy. And I am so thankful that she exists because if we have an old shirt of Murph's that she's outgrown, we can send it in and she takes that piece of apparel that means something and upcycles it into an outfit that Murphy can now wear as she grows up. She makes great stuff. It's honestly kind of like your fullback's wife, Kyle Juszczyk. Is that how you say it? She does that. But honestly, I think Clara Kate's coming for Mrs. Juszczyk's job.
I love that. I'm a big Juice guy, love his wife, love Claire Kate even more than both of them, though.
You can send in your own custom ideas and she will come up with a design. She's just the best. Look up Clara Kate Creations on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and more. Basically, Chris Collins wasn't good enough. When it came time to hire Coach K's replacement, Chris Collins wasn't good enough. So John Shire gets the job. And yeah, Shire sniffing out, oh, you're with Chris Collins this weekend? Let me send my assistants. Like picking that day to send Sinan is just such a slap in the face to a former Duke guy. It's kind of funny.
Especially when he sent his assistants. He didn't even send himself. He's like, I'll let my light work handle this. You know
Well,
what I mean?
dude,
Like I don't need to be a part of this, but I'll
it
let
sounds funny, but this is Shire's move. Like we're actually just sitting back and learning who these younger coaches are as recruiters now. Shire's move all along has been send my assistants. It's like I sit in my office, I'm the godfather, and when you decide you want to see the brotherhood, come see me. Come knock on my door. And it's fascinating because it works. It's been working well for him, you know?
it reminds me of two guys who dominate recruiting, by the way. It's Bill Self, Calipari. When I decide I want you, I will get involved. But until I decide that, I'm gonna let my assistants keep us around, and then I'm gonna pick and choose my spots. And once I'm involved, just know it's over if you're another team that's involved in the process.
Yeah, I will say I haven't heard anything. Sometimes you come off a visit and you hear like it went great or something. We heard that after both Purdue and Illinois. It was like Sinan loved it. I have heard nothing about his visit to Northwestern, and I have heard nothing about Duke's involvement other than that they went to see him. So feels like this is now getting murky at best. At bare minimum, this is like nobody knows what's going to happen here. If you had to sit here today and handicap the Sinan Juan recruitment, let's call it Purdue, Illinois, Northwestern, Duke, anyone else, because I don't think there's many schools involved outside of those 4. You can lump everybody else in the country together and call them a 5th category. Can you rank those 5 in terms of likelihood of where he goes?
So Purdue, Illinois, Duke, Northwestern. Who's the fifth one?
The 5th one is anyone other than those 4 schools. Basically, his recruitment like takes other twists and turns, and schools that aren't involved get involved.
Um, if he believes in himself to be like a potential like one and done like lotto pick type player, which I do think you've convinced me of because I don't remember the guy's name, but the guy that Portland Trailblazers drafted 16 that Riley and I thought was drafted by Memphis.
Yeah.
No shot he's better than Sinan, right? Like, no shot. So like I do think I'm convinced of it. I would say Duke, Illinois, Purdue, Northwestern. I rank Illinois second. I think there's something about Chicago that has Sinan's eyes because if he has Northwestern and Illinois on the list, like he something about the city, the state that he wants to be a part of.
Yeah, could be. So he's on record saying academics are a big thing, and I think this list reflects that. Purdue's like a school that takes themselves very seriously. Their engineering program is great. Northwestern and Duke are two of the top rated universities on earth. Illinois is no slouch. I don't mean to disrespect Illinois' academics. They're also rated very highly. Very good program. So I think he's serious about academics. I would say this: if he gets to Duke, if he takes an official visit to Duke, I think he goes to Duke.
Yeah.
Respectfully to everybody else here, that's different. If he knocks on Shire's door and gets the Brotherhood pitch in person, I think that kid is going to Duke. You better hope he doesn't. And I think if you're Purdue or Illinois, there is hope he doesn't go to Duke because right now it's just the assistants coming to him. Haven't heard anything lined up there. So we'll see. If I had to handicap it though, my guess would be he gets to Duke. And I would say Duke wins this. It's a classic Shire. We beat you. Haha. Second for me, still Purdue. Third for me, Illinois. Fourth for me, Northwestern. Fifth, somebody else. I do think it's going to be one of these four schools.
All I got left is as someone that has allegedly disrespected Illinois' academics, I'm glad you covered your bases there because I took hell. And all I said was they're not Michigan or Cal.
Hey, it's a great school. They belong in the conversation with Duke and Northwestern and Purdue engineers.